Hey, man.
Mic check, Monica. 1, 2, 3, 4. Betsy's gonna hit me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No hitting on the set.
Anything's available with Monica when she's here. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You do not have a right under the Constitution, whether described as liberty, bodily integrity, whatever, to make your neighbor sick.
The legal experts react to the president ordering employees to mandate vaccines. This, as our daily case number in Ohio crossed the 9,000 mark for the first time in months.
Convicted. Former Cuyahoga County Jail Director Ken Mills is found guilty of dereliction of duty and lying to the county council in the run-up to a series of inmate deaths. How much time he could serve behind bars.
Looking for workers. A restaurant owner scrambling to hire hundreds of staff is offering incentives not typically seen in the service industry, like paid childcare. Will it work?
And the Brownies are back, baby. Everything you need to know ahead of the first big game of the season that already has people talking Super Bowl. But shh, don't jinx it. Thanks for staying with us. What's new starts right now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Well, here we go on a Friday afternoon. The sun is shining, the people are happy. And boy, do we have a lot to chat about here in the next hour. Thank you so much for joining us today for What's New. I'm Betsy Kling, alongside this guy, Jay Crawford.
Betsy, a very good Friday afternoon to you and to everyone watching at home as well. We have a jam-packed show, so we want to get right to the news. First at 5, our COVID numbers continue to skyrocket. This is a disturbing trend that we've seen now really over the last month or so. A number of new cases reported within the last 24 hours. 9,019 new cases. That is the highest single day count that we have had going all the way back to January of this year. And it also bumps our 21-day average to 5,200.
Well, there are 261 more Ohioans hospitalized in the last 24 hours. 3,234 patients are now in the hospital. COVID patients make up 12% of the state's available hospital beds. That's compared to 9.7% just a week ago.
Yeah, just about a month ago, that number was 2%. So you can see the direction we're going. This afternoon, Governor Mike DeWine tweeting that he thinks President Biden made a mistake by announcing federal vaccine mandates. The tweet reads, quote, "We should be focused on the science of preventing virus spread. The vaccine is our best tool to stop COVID, but people and business owners should make their own decisions about vaccinations." And that right now seems to be the big debate nationally as to whether or not that is an individual choice to be made. A lot of people have questions about this mandate. Is it really a mandate? Our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, joins us now. Monica, There's going to be legal challenges.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that your word isn't the last word here, but as you look at this, are the mandates legal in your view?
There are loopholes. So, yeah,
okay.
It's going to be a very, very interesting challenge. So, yes, there will be legal challenges regarding the president's directive to mandate employers with more than 100 workers to require them to be vaccinated or get tested weekly. Already, several GOP attorneys general are looking into what those legal options could be, but the Biden administration says it welcomes those challenges. Now, some legal scholars believe the Biden directive could stand for a couple of reasons. One, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration has a long record of enforcing regulations affecting workers' well-being. The second, the caveat of weekly testing for those who do not get vaccinated. A number of Republicans quickly called the mandate unconstitutional, but one local lawyer who's researched these issues says there's already a precedent that the Constitution doesn't fit in this argument.
Not what the Constitution says. That's not what the Supreme Court has interpreted the Constitution to mean. You do not have a right under the Constitution, whether described as liberty, bodily integrity, whatever, to make your neighbor sick. When you make an argument based on your bodily integrity rooted in your constitutional right to maintain your body and do whatever you want with your body, that is textually and legally wrong.
So Biden's plan also threatens to withhold Medicare and Medicaid reimbursement from nearly 50,000 healthcare providers, including hospitals, dialysis facilities, ambulatory surgical settings, and some home health agencies if they don't get all their employees vaccinated. So this was already done to nursing homes and builds on that previous mandate. Currently, Cleveland Clinic, University Hospitals, and Mercy in Lorain do not have mandates. All are reviewing the Biden mandate. Cleveland Clinic says, and Mercy say it will abide by the federal rules, but so far no official mandates have been announced.
Okay, so Biden's rollout was at the federal level. The state level is completely different. So if a state passes a law, much like they did with the masking, they say no mandates. Mandates are not allowed. Then now, where does that leave the worker here stuck in the middle?
More lawsuits. But you know what? 9 states have already passed laws preventing vaccine mandates. But those only applied to vaccines that had emergency use authorization. The vast majority of these laws applied only to state and local governments, meaning private schools and employers in those states could still pass their own vaccine mandates. Now that Pfizer received FDA approval, a lot of those laws fell to the wayside, but no doubt there will be legal challenges. Whether they'll win in court, we'll have to wait and see.
I want to clear one thing up. Yesterday, we made it seem as if the employees of companies with 100 or more employees absolutely had to get the vaccine.
No.
That is not the case.
No.
So it's not really a true mandate. If they want to opt out of the vaccine, they can. They just have to be tested.
Exactly, and that's the loophole.
Right.
That a lot of legal scholars are saying, well, wait a minute, there are exemptions that have to be, they're federally required.
Right.
And a lot of these employers are, if you instead decide you're going to test your employees weekly, that's another way to get out of it. So we'll have to wait and see, if these legal challenges stand.
Wow.
A lot to take in.
Oh,
Monica, thanks.
It's not over.
No,
let's just put it that way.
I think not by a
over.
long shot. Monica, thank you.
Sure.
All right, turning now to the trial of former Cuyahoga County Jail Director Ken Mills. Today, a jury found Mills guilty of 4 misdemeanor charges, including falsification and dereliction of duty. He could face up to 9 months behind bars on these charges. Mills ran the jail in 2018 when 8 inmates died over a 6-month period. Prosecutors say Mills ignored warnings that the jail did not have enough corrections officers and said inmates under Mills' watch didn't have access to running water or clean clothes and were being served food years past its expiration date. Mills was acquitted of the charge of tampering with records. That was a 3rd-degree felony, which carried a prison sentence of up to 3 years if he had been found guilty on that count.
Now on your feet at 5, you've heard how companies across many industries are desperate to hire more help. Driftwood Hospitality, the local catering and restaurant group, has 450 jobs to fill. And its partners told our Sarah Shookman they're making the deal even sweeter with benefits not usually seen in that industry.
Is this ready to go? started as a server for catering. That's kind of moved my way up.
Kayla Hale is the kitchen manager at Green Rooster Farms, reopened for 3 weeks now. Like the story you've heard, restaurants are having a hard time finding help.
Oh yeah. I feel like a lot of other restaurants were trying to hire me, but they weren't paying enough. So honestly, it's the pay and the company.
I think our biggest challenge right now, and it probably sounds like a broken record, is staffing.
What's new with Driftwood Hospitality is boosting employee benefits, implementing changes to make the work more attractive.
When I started cooking, I was maybe making $8 an hour. I think some of our starting wages now, it's between $15 up to $22, $23 an hour.
In addition, Driftwood is partnering with KinderCare to cover the bulk of childcare fees. Other benefits include discounted cell phone rates, free meals, mental health support, and on-the-job training.
Right now, we're actively hiring close to 450 employees. We'll be opening concessions at Playhouse Square. All of the restaurants are reopening. The special events that we have.
Paying your workers a livable wage while trying to live in Cleveland, like, rent's just not cheap. And I think a lot of employers need to realize that, like Driftwood has.
Tyler Elliott just started a few weeks ago. Benjamin Good has been promoted to general manager.
We are always in need of more employees, always need more hands, more workers, more just people who are just dedicated and are just willing to put in the time. It's been really hard to find people like that.
Driftwood's president, Chris Hodgkins, tells me that he hopes this will stop the turnover and really show that they're invested in their employees. Now, Betsy, the National Restaurant Association, says restaurant sales are still expected to increase up over last year through the rest of the year. So he said they have seen catering just explode this summer, and they're expecting that to continue through the fall, weddings and that sort of thing. And now that more people are working downtown again, they're opening up their restaurants here, and they really need the help.
We really found out what an important facet of our little downtown economy the restaurants are.
Right.
And now that that's coming back, we just needed those little, the holes to get filled.
I have said it's so exciting for folks like us who have been working downtown this whole time to see some action around us.
Yeah.
It is really encouraging. We've got all the information to apply on WKYC.com.
It's a good time to try something new. Thanks, Sarah. Jay?
All right, Bets, you can feel the excitement, can't you? We're less than 48 hours away now until the start of the Browns 2021 season. And I, for one, well, it just can't get here soon enough. They're going to be in Kansas City Sunday to take on the Chiefs. Kansas City was their last opponent last season, and of course, that will be their first opponent this season. And it's a great way to find out exactly where you stand in the AFC pecking order. What is this called? Nick Camino, it is called a yardstick game because you're being measured against the class of the conference.
I like that. Kansas City is it, and if you want to make the Super Bowl, you got to go through Kansas City. What do you think? What happens?
I mean, listen, first things first, is it 4:25 on Sunday yet? I mean, we've been talking about this.
We're inside 48 hours.
We are inside 48 hours, and I think Browns fans have been excited about this matchup since the schedule got released in May. I think deep down the Browns knew that this matchup would happen again. I mean, this is a sense of a revenge game. Jay mentioned it was their final game last year in this playoff game at Arrowhead Stadium. That's where they'll be on Sunday. But again, everybody has had this one circled on their calendar. I think the Browns are ready to play this matchup. It's a big-time showdown. They almost pulled off the stunning upset to advance to the AFC Championship last year, but they lose in that divisional playoff game. But we all know this is a whole new season. It's a new year. Everything is fresh. And while there's plenty of familiar faces really on both sides, the Browns are ready to make a serious statement. They're ready to go into KC. They don't care that they're an underdog. They are ready to win this highly anticipated showdown.
I don't want to start off with a bad game, but none of us do. You got to start the campaign with a W, and that's strictly what matters most. So no matter what I do or what happens, I got to do my job and make sure that I'm not a liability out there. The plays that I'll make look great on the stat sheet, but if it comes to the L, it doesn't matter at all.
I'll tell you what, when it comes to the Browns, I am not worried about that man that we just heard from, Myles Garrett. He will be ready to go. That Browns defense, Jay, will be ready to go. As you said, it's that yardstick type of game. We're going to see where they stack up. If the Browns are to win on Sunday, I don't think it means they're automatically going to the Super Bowl.
Of course
if
not.
they lose, we're not going to fire Kevin Stefanski.
No.
It's one game, but you're right. It's going to tell us exactly where they're at.
Now, look, the experts say we're going to lose this game. They do.
Right.
I mean,
that's true.
Vegas has the Browns about a 6-point underdog,
right.
depending on where you look. And we all know it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
Yeah.
So even if the Browns fall short against Kansas City, this game is so important because it gives them an entire regular season to figure out what they have to do better.
That's right.
Should they see Kansas City down the road in the playoffs. And look, if you want to go to the Super Bowl out of the AFC, you're going to have to play Kansas City.
It sets the tone for the entire year. If they happen to lose, it's not the end-all, be-all. If they happen to win this game, well, I think we're all going to get really excited for this upcoming season.
But it's only one.
It's only
and
one.
There are 17, and they all count exactly the same.
But they'll get better and better, as you said. They did it last year.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's rock and roll. Is it 4:25 yet?
We are inside of 47 and a half hours.
See, now you're counting down.
I am counting.
16 seconds.
And we'll see
seconds,
you again
14.
at 5:30 with more
That's
Browns
right.
talk.
Can't wait.
Yep. Bets.
All right. Thanks, guys. Well, here's a fun fact for you. Drew Carey served in the military. The Price is Right host and Cleveland native was a reservist in the Marine Corps. He was back home today to unveil the lone sailor statue at the Great Lakes Science Center and reflected on his time in the service.
When I was in the Marine Corps, I loved it because I went from not being able to afford to eat or clothe myself to getting 3 meals a day. I had an instant family. I had something to be proud of every day. I was part of an organization with a history. I was accepted into this brotherhood of people that have done important things and stood for something. And me, little Drew Carey from Cleveland, Ohio, that couldn't afford anything and was broke and had to mooch off my brother, was part of this thing and didn't have to depend on anybody anymore except the people around me. And I was wanted and needed. And I never forgot that.
Mm-hmm. The lone sailor statue is an iconic symbol of the Navy's Memorial's mission honoring the men and women of sea services. 17 statues stand in various locations around the world. Cleveland's is number 18. It'll eventually move to its permanent home at Voinovich Park next July when the tall ships come back to visit.
Coming up on What's New, this sparked quite the debate in our newsroom this afternoon. Can you wear white after Labor Day? It might actually be as controversial as flossing before you brush your teeth.
I love this conversation.
Betsy, double duty for you today. What's coming up in the forecast?
Well, I'll tell you what a stunning afternoon we've had and what a beautiful evening we have on tap, too. The drink of the day there on the board on the left side is a woo-hoo or a woo-woo, which apparently is a pretty delicious combination that includes schnapps and cranberry juice and some other fun stuff. So no matter what you're drinking, you're probably going to be saying woo-woo when you see the rest of the forecast for the weekend. That's all straight ahead.
It is Fashion Friday here on What's New, and you all know the debate. You've heard it a million times. Is it okay to wear white after Labor Day?
I know you're very concerned about this, Jay.
I've given zero thought to this issue, and probably will give zero thought to this issue moving forward, but I am fascinated about the discussion because it amuses me.
It is, and this is a great one for you to talk about this weekend as you kind of have friends and family around. According to Time magazine, the myth started in the early 20th century. It's a myth. That's when the color became an indication of societal status. Elites could afford to buy seasonal clothes, while the working class typically wore dark clothes year-round. Seasonal availability also has a lot to do with the old-fashioned myth. So, should you leave traces of white out of your wardrobe until Memorial Day? Some celebrity stylists say no. White should be a staple in everyone's wardrobe year-round. All right,
Bravo.
Considering I look like an Easter egg today, I'm probably not the person who's out there like, oh, it's fall and, after Labor Day. I am firmly in the camp that if you like it and it'll keep you warm or dry or whatever, then wear whatever you want. Who cares what the color is?
I have two rules when it comes to clothes. Number one is comfort, as you probably know.
Probably figured that out.
And secondly is, does it make you feel good?
Okay.
Like today, I was thinking about what I'm going to wear today, and I thought, well, you know what? Got the Browns game on Sunday.
True.
I'm going to throw a little orange pocket square with a brown shirt.
Very dapper.
It made me feel good.
There you go.
And that's my fashion rule.
Right.
So if it makes me feel okay, if it's violating others' fashion rules, I'm not too concerned about that.
Now, here's the thing. We're not talking like, white as in this white.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a difference, by
You
the
can
way.
do winter white, vanilla, mocha. There's all
Shades
kinds of
white.
tons of white.
So what should we avoid?
Colors.
Like the stark white?
Wear whatever you want to wear.
That's what I'm talking
come
about.
on,
That's
right?
what I'm talking. We asked Facebook folks.
Oh, yes, we did.
And
this has been good.
I guess
on
the
page.
overwhelming responses here is that it is okay to wear.
83 votes.
Facebook.
Absolutely, it's fine to wear
Why not?
white after Labor Day.
Yeah.
Only small traces, 6 votes. And no way, 3 votes. That's on the What's New Facebook page. If you haven't joined us there, hop in. It's a private group, so you have to ask and we'll let you in, I promise. But yeah, we always have fun discussions.
And you can wear white after Labor Day and still be a member of that group.
So the interesting thing is, I have found a lot of times the clothes that you can buy that are white are typically warmer weather clothes. So you can't necessarily find a stark white, winter jumpsuit like you can find a white summer jumpsuit. That's just me. Here's a look at where we're going over the next few hours. Stunning out there, friends. Temperatures are in the low and mid 70s right now. We'll drop back towards 60 by the time we hit the midnight hour. Look at this, 70 degrees on the east side, 75 in tropical Dover, but that's not the hot spot. Mansfield sitting right now at 76, but all of us enjoying lots of sunshine. The heat is out to the west of us, and this heat will become a big part of the weekend forecast and even into next week. Remember, the atmosphere in the ebb and flow, we get the cool air surges, and typically they're followed by a warm air surge. Well, this is going to be a pretty quick flip from the cool to the warm, as temperatures tomorrow are going to be surging. But the good news is, between here and there, we have clear skies, and we are expecting to see a lot of those clear skies as we go through tonight into the day tomorrow. Just a few fair weather clouds have been with us through the day today. That's probably about what we're going to do for the day tomorrow, too. Matter of fact, here's a look at the forecast numbers and some of the particulars for you as we fly down into Cleveland. Temperatures tonight will drop back into the mid and upper 50s under clear skies. We will have a nice light wind to contend with. Tomorrow, though, will be downright breezy. That southerly wind coming at us 5 to 15, gusting to 25 at times, but we will be seeing sunshine, and that wind is bringing in the warm air. We'll be topping out in the low 80s. Here's a look at your National Designer hour-by-hour forecast. Just stunning with plenty of sun to start. We're going to just pop those few clouds up as we head through the afternoon. Lake Erie nearshore boaters, with all that wind, we're going to have some chop, especially coming back into shore, so keep that in mind. You go out, it's easy. You come back in, it'll be bumpy. Here's your Union Home Mortgage forecast. Low 80s tomorrow, mid and upper 80s on Sunday. We get a few chances for some pop-up storms on Monday, and then upper 80s once again on Tuesday before things kind of settle back into that late summer trend. We'll be right back.
Hi, we're going to be talking about Phil Collins passing the torch to his son because he has health complications.
Welcome back to What's New. Time now for our pop break. And you know the drill. Kara Cotton's here every day to do it.
What is this I hear about Phil Collins in major news?
Yeah, the legendary Phil Collins
Sorry.
is ready to pass the torch. The 70-year-old drummer announced in an interview this morning that he won't be playing in the upcoming reunion tour with Genesis due to health complications. He's turning the task over to his 20-year-old son, Nick. In the interview, he said, "I'd love to, but you know, I can barely hold the stick with this hand, so there are certain physical things that get in the way." But the good news, Collins will still attend the tour and be on stage providing vocals for the band. Genesis is set to play at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse November 30th. We have all those details at WKYC.com. And now to the movie industry. The first trailer for Netflix's Don't Look Up shows off a star-studded cast. The comedy from Adam McKay stars Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio, a pair of astronomers who try to warn the world about an apocalyptic threat presented by an approaching comet. The A-list names don't stop there. Meryl Streep plays the president, Jonah Hill plays her son and chief of staff, Tyler Perry, Chris Evans, Ariana Grande, and even Cleveland's own Kid Cudi also make appearances. Don't Look Up will hit select theaters December 10th and on Netflix December 24th. And last but certainly not least, Bennifer is back in full course on the red carpet. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez made their red carpet debut 2.0 today at the Venice Film Festival. The two haven't walked a red carpet together since 2003. That's 18 years. And they look great. So unless you're A-Rod, you can't really be mad about that one.
Yeah, I imagine A-Rod is a little hot.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Well, we already know that Jennifer has cut and moved on.
It's signed, sealed, and delivered. They look fantastic. They look so happy. Yeah. Congratulations to them, I guess.
Yeah, good to them. Who says you can't go home again?
Right?
I guess in this case you can.
2.0.
Yep.
Thanks, Kara.
All right, thank you.
Great week.
Tonight's Worth the Watch comes to us from Sandusky. Last Thursday, the Michael Jackson tribute band called Who's Bad was playing the Jackson Street Pier there.
Yes.
When they called 10-year-old Micaiah Fox up to the stage, Betsy, I want you to watch this kid go.
Look at this.
He had the crowd going absolutely nuts. Now, mind you, these two had never met and had never performed together, but they are in lockstep with one another. Micaiah's dad, James, told me that MJ fascination began for his son with the Wii game that was called the Michael Jackson Experience. Micaiah knows all of his songs and all of the dance moves that go with them. His dad, James, tells me Micaiah is an excellent student. He loves going to church, and more than anything else, he loves wearing suits.
Wow.
What a great kid.
Those
and how about the moves, man?
I mean, you know, I look at that and I'm thinking I would have to have broken legs in order to move that way. Like Gumby legs.
Or no bones in your legs. I mean,
it wouldn't happen.
So he called them up and he performed on the stage with them for about the last hour of the show. And Betsy didn't miss a beat. Of
course.
I mean, he knows every move of every song.
Absolutely fantastic.
Look at that.
Love it. All right, ahead for us in the second half hour of What's New on this Friday, Leon Bibb. He's going to show us the lessons we've learned since the horrific attack on our nation 20 years ago.
And I'll have my take on the upcoming Browns season. Everyone has thoughts that perhaps this could be a Super Bowl year for the Browns. But is this team actually built to win it all? I'll tell you what I think in the second half hour of What's New.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
And we'll get you caught up with three things you need to know about here at 5:30. We start with the trial of former Cuyahoga County Jail Director Ken Mills. That wrapped up today. A jury found Mills guilty on 4 misdemeanor counts, including falsification and dereliction of duty. He could face up to 9 months behind bars. Mills ran the jail in 2018 when 8 inmates died over a 6-month period. Prosecutors say Mills ignored warnings that the jail did not have enough corrections officers and said inmates under Mills' watch didn't have access to running water or clean clothes and were being served food that was years past its expiration date. Mills was acquitted of the charge of tampering with records. That's a third-degree felony. It would have carried a sentence of up to 3 years.
COVID cases in Ohio continue on an upward trend. 9,019 new cases reported in the last 24 hours. That's the highest case count since January. It also bumps up our 21-day average to 5,200. Meanwhile, 261 more Ohioans were hospitalized in the last 24 hours. COVID patients now make up 12% of the state's hospital beds. That's compared to 9.7% just 1 week ago.
And Betsy, this afternoon, Governor Mike DeWine responding to President Biden's vaccine mandate. He said it's a maskate. The tweet read, quote, "We should be focused on the science of preventing virus spread. The vaccine is our best tool to stop COVID, but people and business owners should make their own decisions about vaccinations." And with that, we welcome you back to What's New. Time for the second half hour of our Friday show. Everybody's ready for the weekend.
Where it's like the eve of the Browns game. That's pretty much the only way we can describe today.
Yeah, you're right. So we've got Friday today, always a feel-good day. And then the Buckeyes have a big game tomorrow.
That's true.
Their home opener against Oregon. That's going to be a great football game. And then on Sunday,
chicken wings.
I will say to everyone I see on Sunday, I will say Happy New Year. Because to me, that's when the new year starts. Opening day, football season, and then and it's on.
We had the Happy New Year people who were also out at training camp. You know, it was like every baby step. But this year, I really think it's going to be different as far as the tailgating goes. People are very invested in this. A lot of outdoor patio parties and people going to be populating the bars around Northeast Ohio. It's going to be great.
Yes, it is. Please be safe wherever you're watching and celebrating. That takes us to our top talker now. It is none other than the Cleveland Browns. We've been ready for this season, really since the last second ticked off on the clock against the Chiefs in that playoff loss a year ago. They take on those same Chiefs in Kansas City in less than 48 hours from right now. I do have a few thoughts before the new season kicks. I'll share them a little bit later. Nick Camino is on deck. He's got a preview of what to expect on Sunday. But first, Bets, you really can't talk about the football game unless you know what the weather is going to be at the football game. And there will be weather, but it's going to be warm.
That's it. 92 degrees. Woo! I hope they've been practicing in some of that heat. I know they have here in Northeast Ohio, but game time 3:25 Central. Remember, they're an hour behind, but it's going to be a warm one for them. It will be a little bit of a breeze just out of the south at 10. It does not look like it's going to be overly humid, though. So the 92 with the sunshine is definitely going to be cooking things on the field. Let's hope the Browns can be cooking things in the end zone. Their end zone, specifically.
Yeah, I hope so. Man, I hope they find the end zone early and often.
Yes.
So, 3 News sports anchor Nick Camino joins me now on the What's New set. Nick, I'm going to go right to it.
Okay.
What is the key to a Browns win on Sunday, in your mind?
What do they
have to do?
Keep this as simple as I can.
Okay.
Run the football, right? I mean, just run the football. And when you think about everything that is involved in this football game, the heat that Betsy just told us about, that high-octane Chiefs offense, you think about all the different factors that go into this one, I think you got to run the football. And if you're able to do that with the best 1-2 combo at running back in Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, if you're able to just pound the football, I think it helps keep that Chiefs offense off the field. It helps you control the clock. You control the tempo of the football game. Don't get too pass happy. We talk a lot about Baker Mayfield and OBJ and Jarvis, and those guys are great. We get it. But I think if you keep it simple and you run the football, that's the way to go. Meanwhile, Coach Kevin Stefanski, he understands a lot of the factors we've talked about, including the weather. Those are things they can't control, but guess what? They got to deal with it.
Yeah, it's one of those other things that we don't control. We don't control the crowd noise. We don't control the heat. But we have to deal with it. We have to have a plan. So we've made sure that the guys are understanding what they need to do really throughout the week to make sure that they're ready to go on Sunday.
I think the Browns can win this game on Sunday, Jay. I think they've got revenge on their minds, whether you buy into that or not from last year. But I just think this is a game they have had circled on their calendar since this schedule came out. Browns fans alike. Let's go. 4:25 Sunday. Let's get it going here.
Yeah, I'll give you I think my key player of the game is Kareem Hunt. I think, he's going up against his old team, the Kansas City Chiefs. Didn't actually end well between the Chiefs and Hunt. You remember they just basically ended his time in Kansas City. I do think that the Browns offense is going to look slightly different in that they're using Kareem in a lot of different ways.
That's true.
Last year, saw so many times they tried to run him between the tackles. I think what they did in the offseason is they went back and they looked at tape at how Andy Reid used Kareem Hunt in Kansas City. And it wasn't handing the ball off and letting him run between the tackles. You were getting in the ball and swing passes out of the backfield. This offense has a lot of plays geared for number 27. He has a big day. I think the Browns win.
I'm glad you brought him up because rightfully so. We talk about Nick Chubb a lot. He's probably their best overall player on the roster. Saying that, that is a weapon to have.
Oh.
If you have Kareem Hunt, that 1-2 punch, they've got a deep running back field. If you think about it, some of those guys, Dearness Johnson.
And then look at the wide receivers. Okay?
They're loaded offensively.
This team just comes at you in waves. All right, here's my take on the 2021 season. I haven't been this excited for a Browns season in more than 30 years. The pieces are all there. Quarterback, running backs, wide receivers, even defensive stars. This defense is much improved. The team is loaded, no doubt about that. But let's not forget, you don't make it to the Super Bowl in week 1. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You have to go through 17 different 3.5-hour torture sessions just to get to the playoffs. We're probably going to lose a few that we should win, and we will definitely win a few that we should lose. As for Sunday, the experts say the Browns are supposed to lose this game. And look, they might be right. Kansas City is still the big dog in the AFC. But this season is not about who wins this Sunday. It's about who wins on Sunday, February 13th. More importantly, to get to the Super Bowl, it's who wins on Sunday, January 30th. That's the day of the AFC Championship. I'm not going to make any bold predictions. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Browns are going to win the Super Bowl. Nobody needs that. What I am here to say is they have a better chance of making a Super Bowl than they have at any time in the last quarter century. So, enjoy the ride. This team is 100% for real, an absolute contender to play in the Super Bowl, and it all starts Sunday.
I'm ready to run through a wall for this guy right now. Let him go to Arrowhead and give the pregame speech. I'm ready now.
Let's go win a game.
I'm going to run through the green screen in the Weather Center.
Betsy, she wants you not to do that.
I agree with everything you said. Is it time for kickoff yet? Let's go. And you know what? Defensively, there are some question marks with linebackers and things like that, not to get two X's and O's.
Yeah.
You're going to have to stop this offense. You're going to have to contain Patrick Mahomes just a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, on that note, Jimmy was here earlier in the week, and he said that he thought the key to this game was the Kansas City offensive line. It's all new.
Yeah, they've got new guys.
It's a rebuilt unit.
New faces, yep.
So I would say the thing to watch for is the Browns' pressure on Patrick Mahomes. They've got all kinds of guys that can get to the quarterback. If this Browns defensive front can put pressure on Patrick Mahomes, the Browns win the game.
The battle in the trenches. I like it.
That's where it's won and lost.
Let's go.
Where it's won and lost. Thanks, Nick.
Get us going. Get us going again. I want that pregame speech.
We're inside 46 hours.
He's counting now.
So we're
16
getting
seconds, 15 seconds, 14.
I feel like I need to grunt or something right now. Like, this is very unusual. Yeah. Simmer down now, simmer down. All right, next on What's New, the Christmas Story Run is being canceled again this year. We have all the details ahead in Clicking in Cleveland.
Then, our own Leon Bibb takes us back 20 years. He's going to show us the lessons learned from 9/11 and how it changed us all.
And of course, we've got that little forecast thing happening here in Northeast Ohio. I'll tell you what, it's just going to be beautiful. Next 12 hours, clear skies, temperatures fading back into the 50s. Big question is, where do we go from here? And do I have some answers for you? It's coming up next.
Check. What is clicking in Cleveland today is a canceled run. Okay. Oh, that's.
Oh, so many happy people today. Beautiful afternoon. Lots of sunshine, just a few clouds. And as far as the numbers go, 74, the preliminary high. The official high can't be set until midnight, of course, but preliminarily. And now that we're in cooling, we can probably say with almost certainty 74 the high temperature today, 54 the low. Definitely a little chilly in the morning. We got another chilly morning on tap for tomorrow. Right now we're still sitting in the low and mid 70s across Northeast Ohio. Light winds, blue skies, just stunning as far as September standards go. And not only that, it is also relatively dry air that we have in place, so it's very comfortable too. The clouds have been kind of few and far between, decorative more than anything. Some fair weather cumulus clouds have been a part of our afternoon, but to the west of us it's clear all the way out into the Rockies. So we have a lot of sunshine that's coming our way as we head through the next few days. I don't think it's until late Sunday that we're really going to see any appreciable cloud cover coming back. And we don't even have rain chances coming until later on Monday at this point. So all in all, things are looking good precipitation wise. And then heat wise, things are still looking quite summery in the Central Plains states, and we will be picking up some more summery temperatures here as we head through the weekend. The cool air is shifting out, the warm air is shifting in, and that leaves us with your National Design Mart hourly forecast for tomorrow, taking us into the low 80s. More sunshine, little breezy. That southwest wind is going to be with us, gusting to 25. Don't be surprised if we make it into the low 80s. There could be a couple 83, 84 degree top temperatures on the map tomorrow. That south to southwest wind also on the lake. Now keep in mind that's an offshore wind, so going out it's going to be smooth and easy. Coming back in is a whole nother story, and that goes for those of you who are on the jet skis and also the paddle boards. It hurts when you're trying to go against the wind on the paddleboard, so just be advised of that. Here's your Union Home Mortgage forecast. 82 tomorrow, then 86 with sunshine on Sunday. The heat rising, the humidity too. Late Monday, we may pick up some thunderstorm chances. We have better chances for rain and storms Tuesday and then again Wednesday, Thursday. But all in all, there's still no major cool downs coming in the forecast. Late summer at its finest, Jay.
It really is, and I love it. And I hope we get that for another month. I know that's not going to happen, but wouldn't that be nice? All right, time right now to see what's clicking in Cleveland. For that, we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Stephanie, a very good Friday afternoon to you.
Very good Friday to you, Jay, with it being the Friday before the start of football season. Now, as for the nights leading up to Christmas, some not so great news here, because for the second year in a row, the people behind the Christmas Story House in Tremont are canceling the Christmas Story Run. It hasn't been held since 2019, canceled due to COVID last year. And that's the story again this year, too. The organizers posted today that because of COVID and the Delta variant, they feel it's best to call it off so you can keep your pink bunny suits in the closet for one more year, folks. Now, if you love scary movies, this one is for you. Dish Network wants to pay someone $1,300 to watch 13 scary movies, all Stephen King movies, by Halloween. You have to be at least 18 to do it, and if you're interested, here's a few from the lineup. Children of the Corn, Cujo, The Shining, the It movies, because you cannot possibly enjoy It Chapter 2 without having seen the original, right? Now, I won't be signing up for this one, but all of you scary movie lovers, have at it. And with the Brown season opener just days away, we have required reading from our 3 News sports analyst, Ben Axelrod. In his latest column, Ben recounts how he was there when the Browns beat the Jets in 2018, the first win in 635 days, with free tickets that his then girlfriend, now wife Tori, who you saw there, got from taking a yoga class at the stadium. No more free tickets now, of course, with playoff prospects, but Ben reminds us we've been here before with the Cavs and LeBron twice. That's what you're seeing there, and we don't know what the future holds, even though the Browns look good now, and boy do they look good now. So his message is this: let's not take this season for granted. Let's savor this excitement and even enjoy the ups and the downs, because for far too long, it's been all downhill, and not in a good way. And I have to say, after reading Ben's column, after listening to Jay talk about it with Nick, I am ready for this season. I got chills, broke out my vintage Browns gear. I am ready to go for Sunday.
Do you want to grunt?
I do.
I felt very yes.
You have to do the barking.
I read Ben too. Ben, fantastic job. I think he nails it perfectly. these seasons come along very infrequently for Browns fans. I mean,
Yes,
let's
very.
face it. Last time we were this excited was the late 80s.
Yeah, Bernie Kosar.
So let's enjoy it. Enjoy it with the people that you're watching with and understand that it's not life or death. We don't get Super Bowl rings individually if they win. It's a point of pride, I know. But let's not take it too seriously, and let's try to make sports enhance our lives. That's what it's all about.
And the thing is, I think a lot of people forget Browns fans aren't just in Cleveland. They have the largest fan base in the world.
We're
So this is
everywhere,
like
baby.
just
Everywhere.
Everywhere. I was
Yes.
at a conference in Oklahoma, and of course, Baker territory.
Yo, they love
Everybody
Baker
saw
there.
I had a Cleveland shirt on. They're like, "Go Baker!" I'm like, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
Yes.
He could run for governor in Oklahoma and win. Not even living there. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Enjoy that Browns win. Or
Yes.
game. Game.
I heard that.
Yeah, game.
Me too.
All right, still ahead. Our world changed 20 years ago. Our Leon Bibb takes a look back at the terrorist attacks on 9/11, the lessons they taught us, and how they changed us forever.
Then, Betsy, dogs take over a local pool, and it was all for a good cause. I think they're having fun. We have that story coming up on our show of Something Good. Tomorrow will be a tough day for so many Americans. It'll be a day of remembrance and reflection throughout the country, but also here in Ohio and across the nation, led by tributes at memorial sites in New York, Washington, D.C., as well as Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
We all remember those terrible days in 2001, and of course, how our thoughts turn to how our world has changed since then. Leon Bibb shares his perspective.
We live in a new world today. One born 20 years ago on a September 11th morning when the old world we knew vanished in an instant. Trouble cut into us, painfully plunged deep into our lives. If you were old enough in 2001 to comprehend the horror, you can remember exactly where you were when our lives changed. In 77 minutes, the world changed. We count the dead, more than 400 emergency workers in New York. Another 2,000 have died from 9/11 illnesses that started at Ground Zero. More than 125 killed at the Pentagon. All total, 3,000 killed, 6,000 more injured. For 2 decades, we have paused to remember. In the 20 years, we have taken war to those who planned and rained death on us. All the while, here at home, we changed because of 9/11. Security everywhere because the danger zone is everywhere.
At a Lakewood, Ohio fire station, there's a memorial to the 9/11 victims. Twisted and scorched pieces of metal beam from the World Trade Center that day. Across America, there are many such memorials, stark reminders of what happened that day.
The picture of what we should not forget plays like an unending video in our thoughts. Horror still holds us a generation later. New York, Washington, Shanksville are etched into a nation's memory. What have we learned? Among the lessons are how first responders and military must protect us. We learned of our own vulnerability. We have learned terror can be anywhere, so how we gather has changed. But we also learned lessons of our collective strength, especially when times seem at their worst. Still, 9/11 and the war America fought because of it hovers over us. And on the eve of 9/11's 20th anniversary in Afghanistan, America has ended a troubled effort there. And of that, no doubt there will be lessons studied and lessons learned, stemming from America's longest war ever. It was the war which grew out of a September 11th day, which still haunts us 20 years later. For 3 News, I'm Leon Bibb.
Everybody remembers where they were at that moment that, you know, the towers hit or you found out what was going on. Everybody has a story. And in watching this series that we've had through this week, it actually has brought me a little bit of comfort. I didn't anticipate 9/11's anniversary this year as being something that I would emotionally react to. You know, in the news business, we kind of grind through and you put your emotions to the side. I've actually been kind of emotional this week in the lead up.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
20 years since the attacks, and when you think back, a lot has changed. Leon touched on it there. For one, our security and the measures of security that we have throughout our country. But at the same time, as we witness what's going on now in Afghanistan, these are where these attacks were born. And now the country of Afghanistan is back in the hands of the Taliban. So we don't know where we're going from here. We just know that America's diligence and effort to keep our people safe will never end. Regardless of what goes on around the world and other corners of the world, the efforts to keep us safe will always continue here.
Well, we have all of our 9/11 coverage on WKYC.com/remembering 9/11.
Still ahead, these pups are ready to swim into the weekend. Which local pool they took over and why? That's coming up ahead in our Show Us Something Good.
Jay just said it during the break. A pooch, a ball, and a pool. What could be better?
It's
And the
heaven.
dogs got full control over the city pool. Over in Beechwood, about 90 dogs took over the aquatic center yesterday. Now, only dogs were allowed to swim. Humans had to hang out on the pool deck. Cost $5. All of that money raised benefits the Barkwood Park Fund. The event in total raised about $500. They usually do that right before they drain the pool for the winter, of course. But look at dogs pronking. They're like just so happy.
I love it. I love it. There's a gold in there. You give a dog a tennis ball
Yeah,
and friend for life.
That's happiness. But
Yeah.
now you throw it in water.
Oh, my goodness.
Game on.
We're out of time. We hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you again Monday.
What matters most with Russ starts right now.
Now at 6, vaccination reaction. On the heels of President Biden's new vaccine push, experts weigh in on what's legal and what the government can enforce. Also, remembering 9/11.
We come now remembering those who lost their lives, oh God, in New York,